Hello everyone, Alistair Gold here. You know how it is. You do a video, you have a bit of a rant about Spurs, you go off and have a shave, and then you suddenly get some information about Gareth Bale that you really wish you'd been able to put into the previous video. So I thought I'd do another one. All about Gareth Bale. And if anyone knows the way I write or my videos, whenever I'm asked about Gareth Bale, I normally do something like this. And it's been that way for many a window, many a year, because Gareth Bale coming back to Tottenham Hotspur has always pretty much been an impossibility. Maybe until now. As I understand it, Tottenham are genuinely having a go at trying to get Gareth Bale back to the Premier League and back to N17 on loan. I think the key to it, as I've always said, has been the finances. But I think I've said this in previous ones and in recent ones. If ever there was a window where there's probably was more chance of Tottenham getting something done, it was this window. Purely because Bale and Real Madrid's relationship is just so bad. It's so bad. And we saw, the way he was answering questions on Wales duty. This is a guy who, he just isn't going to play for Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane has got clearly no interest in playing him whatsoever. The relationship between him and the Madrid fans hasn't been great for a little while. So Madrid have got this incredibly talented, 31-year-old, of course, player sitting not even on their bench at times. And he's on humongous wages, I think with Spain it's slightly different in terms of the tax situation, but I think before tax it's something like over £650,000 a week he's on. And obviously, he is, considered when fully fit, one of the best players out there. Tottenham are generally going to have a go at loan. I think they're going to need a lot of help from Real Madrid in taking on a big old portion of those wages. And no indication as of yet of what the loan fee would be, and then obviously what happens after the loan. But it's a situation where really it could kind of help all parties if Tottenham can get it done, because it would give Bale football, which he's always wanted. That's kind of always been his driver, is just to play football. It gets him back to a place where, let's be honest, the majority of people still love him. Real Madrid will save a bit of money and they'll get a loan fee in through the door for him as well. And as I've actually just said in the previous video, which I only filmed, an hour and 2 hours ago, about 2 hours ago now, Spurs need a bit of magic. They need a bit of inspiration. And what could be bigger than getting Gareth Bale back through the door? It sounds ridiculous even me saying it. I'm so used to saying that's rubbish because it was rubbish in the past. It was never going to happen. But I think now there's a hope within the club that if they can get Real Madrid to essentially financially concede to a fair few things, then Tottenham could maybe get him in the door, which is, is massive. It really is. It could be such a kind of a statement signing. Obviously, there'll be questions over where he plays, but that's really not the kind of the biggest thing right now. It will be essentially he plays somewhere because it's Gareth Bale. You get him in it. You can imagine Gareth Bale and Harry Kane playing together. It's incredible. Does he play as a second striker? Does he play as a support striker? Does he play on the left where maybe Son would normally play? Do you play him on the right? Wherever, essentially, you play him if he's fit. It's an incredibly exciting signing if it happens. It hasn't happened. It hasn't, it's not been confirmed, but Tottenham are genuinely, as I understand it, having a proper go on getting him on loan for now. And you look at what he's won: 2 La Liga titles, 4 Champions League, 3 Club World Cups, 1 Copa del Rey, 2 UEFA Super Cups. The guy has gone and done everything in the game. He has absolutely, he left Spurs probably the best player in the Premier League at the time. He won the Young Player of the Year and the Player of the Year award in the same year, 2012-13 season. He was certainly Spurs Player of the Year, and anyone like me, you remember him just essentially carrying that Andre Villas-Boas team through that season. I'll always remember that goal against West Ham, honestly. Last seconds, ran into Villas-Boas' arms. It was phenomenal. This is going to be a different Gareth Bale. There's no getting away from that. This is not the Gareth Bale that left Spurs, but he's still an incredibly good player. The key with him will be obviously the fitness and whether Spurs, there'll be certain stuff built in there, no doubt, on whether he plays or not. And he has had these injury issues. He's going to have to get over those. Spurs are going to have to get the very best out of him. But ultimately, it's about getting. It's going to take a while to get fit. I'm not entirely sure where his pre-season was at in Madrid and how it was working for him with everything going on. We know he'd obviously played for Wales. But yeah, as you probably see, I'm quite excited. As a journalist, it's quite exciting. As someone obviously that grew up very much in the Spurs traditions, seeing someone that I used to watch out there at White Hart Lane on the pitch potentially coming back is very exciting. It's massive for the Premier League. It's massive for Spurs in terms of marketing off the pitch as well. It could be huge. It could just be the thing that we've spoken about Mourinho wanting winners this year, wanting that strong mentality. It doesn't really come any bigger than Gareth Bale because he's won everything at a club level. Bringing that into the dressing room, I'll be interested to see how much he does involves things like the pressing. Mourinho made a big deal about that on Sunday. Does Gareth Bale then get involved in the pressing? Can you ask him to do that? Can he, fitness-wise, be expected to do that? That's a big thing. And how is he going to merge into the dressing room? Is he going to be a big ego coming in from Real Madrid where he's been? Or is he going to just say, look, I want to just play football? Ben Davies, obviously, his Welsh teammate and friend, knows him very well. I think I remember asking Ben Davies about Gareth Bale potentially coming back about 3 years ago. It seems weird that it could possibly happen now. But yeah, we know what Ben Davies is like. He's the most unassuming character ever. And you do think that Bale coming back in, you'd hope he wouldn't be like that. You'd hope. We don't know. But I'll be very intrigued to see how it works. I'll tell you what it will do. It will give an enormous kick up the backside to a lot of those other players. Because those other players I was only talking about, please do go and watch the other video because I spoke about so many other things, including the striker situation at length as well. But what he does do is he comes in and he gives an absolute kick up the backside, a proper rocket to those other players who maybe thought that they were the big deal, that they would never be dropped. They could do whatever they wanted on a pitch. I'm not saying they did, but maybe in the mentality subconsciously they felt that. Gareth Bale comes in, all bets are off. Even Harry Kane is no longer the star of that Tottenham Hotspur team. I think it's mouthwatering. Thinking of Son, Bale and Kane together is ridiculous. And then you've also got the likes of Ali, Bergwijn, Lamela, Lucas all buzzing around on Ndombele, Lo Celso. Suddenly, everything from Sunday becomes very exciting. I hope this isn't one of these where we get very excited over a potential transfer and it doesn't happen. Because if it did, it would be the statement I spoke about in the other video. It's so frustrating I didn't get this information before I finished that video because it would have fitted so nicely into what I was saying. But yeah, we'll see. As you can tell, I'm a little bit excited, which doesn't often happen to me when I'm talking about, especially Gareth Bale. But they're going to have a genuine go. It sounds like United might be interested, but more as a backup for a Sancho deal. But Bale knows that at Spurs he's certainly loved, and I think even the ones who hated the fact he went and held it against him might even just shelve that for a little while if he were to walk back through the gates at N17 and come back to the Tottenham. Gareth Bale at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's a stadium built for players like that, isn't it? It really is. And yeah, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating, and it's going to give me a hell of a lot to write about. Mourinho's got his press conference tomorrow. I'm sure he'll say absolutely nothing when asked, but I'll certainly be asking if someone else doesn't. And we'll all be kind of watching, waiting to see if he does give anything away. I love the fact that we've gone from Alexander Sørloth, no offence to the young Norwegian striker, yesterday, to Gareth Bale today. That's a hell of a switch. And like I say, I hope it's not something that just ends up with another Rivaldo letter of thanks but no thanks, and it actually gets over the line. But I think I can sense a kind of a genuine, hope that if Real Madrid, like I say, kick in with a bit of the finance, it's a loan that actually might work and work for all parties. And it gives Gareth Bale, not that he has to prove anything, but it gives him a chance to come back to the Premier League and just remind everyone how good he is. Because, even the overhead kick against Liverpool in the Champions League final, ridiculous goal, phenomenal. And for me, the Copa del Rey final, wasn't it, when he essentially ran off the pitch and came round to still score against Barcelona. Again, whether we'll get that Gareth Bale if Tottenham can do a deal, I don't know. But what you will get is an incredibly talented player with a winning mentality who knows what it takes to win, and that's exactly what this Tottenham Hotspur side needs, and it'll be incredibly exciting. So fingers crossed, let's see what happens, but I just wanted to kind of do a quick video update to kind of tag on the last one. So if you've watched the last one, hopefully you've come across and found this video, and if you've watched this one and you haven't seen the other one, please do go across, because I speak about loads of stuff, the match, Mourinho's, the mentality, the striker, Chase, Belotti, stuff like that. So yeah, please do, and fingers crossed, because it'll be so exciting. Talk to you later. Bye.